Morning, everybody. We're going to give everyone just another minute or two to get on, and we're going to then get going on our part two of networking, referral partners, and referrals. We have some different people on today from the first one, so we're going to do a quick overview of what we went over last time, and then we're going to dig deeper in terms of examples, as well as I want today to be much more interactive. I want you guys to shoot as many questions as possible, examples of how you've applied the stuff we talked about last time and today, and any questions. So please be as interactive as possible. So again, I apologize for any of you who were on the last one. We'll be getting a little redundant, but I want to follow through again for the people who are on it for the first time, and then we'll dig deeper. So what's the point of today? We're going to talk a lot about networking and referral partners today, and how that's the best and most productive way to really grow your business. And you have to look at this as a job within itself, just like you do trying to get merchants every day. So our most sales partners spend most of the time soliciting merchants, but our most productive sales partners spend the majority of the time networking and developing referral partners, because these are the three most effective ways, along with referrals, to grow your portfolio. As we talked about last time, before you get to this and before you're meeting with people from a networking or referral partner perspective, you really got to develop and fine-tune your mission statement of who you are. You really need to be able to tell people very quickly, very concisely who you are, what your background is, what are all the benefits of EPSG, and what your value, the value add that you provide. Real quick, again, the way I do mine is I try to real quickly just introduce myself, say that I was an attorney who also worked on Wall Street previously. I talk about EPSG, that they're the largest privately held processor in the country. I talk about that we always provide the most competitive, transparent pricing due to the economies of scale of EPSG. I talk about, at the same time as important pricing is, I talk about that we have an extensive back office support system that provides best-in-class service, and I tie that in that I'm always giving my cell phone personally to show people how accessible I am, and that when there are problems, and there will be problems, that we're always there to problem solve. Okay, so let's get into the meat of networking and developing referral partners. It is purely a numbers game, just like acquiring merchants. But like we talked about last time, it's actually requires more numbers than getting merchants, because the ratio is even worse, but the benefits are even higher. Because once you get a quality referral partner or networking relationship, they're going to be helping you get qualified leads and accounts on an ongoing basis. So it's worth the time, but you need to commit time every day to networking and meeting with people who could become referral partners. We're going to give you lots of examples in a minute. And every failure, you have to look at it that you're getting that much closer to developing the right relationship. My biggest mistake in the networking and referral partner perspective is I'll do 3, 4, 5 examples, and none of them will work out, and I'll think I'm doing something wrong, or I think it's not worth my time, and I'll give up for a while. And that's just a classic mistake. Everyone you go to, everyone that fails, it means you're that much closer to a good one. It may take 10, it may take 20, it may take 50, but once you do and you have someone who's referring you 3, 5, 10 deals a month, it's well worth the time and well worth all the failures that you went through. Keep remembering that point. We talk quickly about compensation. There's several ways you can do it, but talking with Kevin and Brett and Jeff, the most popular and one that works the best is giving the referral partner six months up front, their percentage of that, and then something up to 20% of your take on an ongoing basis. The key here being that, from experience, the management team's telling me, and from my own experience as well, you need to give them some upfront incentive and some real money to motivate them, where if you do it only on a back-end residual, they may lose interest before they get to any real compensation. Obviously, if you're dealing with someone who's wealthier or can see the long-term upside to doing the back end, then you may want to do just a back end somewhere between 25 and 50% of your take. And of course, you can do something in between where you give them $50 to $100 up front and then some residual. These are all things you can talk about with Kevin, Jeff, and Brett, but those are things you want to think about. You want to be able to articulate and be very clear on these different programs when you're talking to referral partners and incentivize them. Again, in some way, you want to balance making them money up front and the long-term benefit of building a long-term portfolio. All right, here's the most important part of the presentation. We talked last time about all the different types of potential networking and referral partners. It's so broad and it's so never ending in the sense that every person you talk to opens a door to someone else. And let's go through this real quick. And then today I want to go through a lot of examples. And again, please shoot me questions, shoot me examples that you think I'm not covering today so we can convey them to everyone else. But number one, which is the way I've built my business the last 2 or 3 years, I literally put pen to paper and went through every high school, college. I went to law school, so graduate school, went through all my jobs on Wall Street in law, not only people I worked with, but the people I worked for in terms of clients, and put them all on paper and reached out to many of them and started relationships that way. I then went through all family member relationships as well. And then the key is the last one, context of all of the above. Of all those relationships in the first 4 or 5 examples of areas of influence, spheres of influence, then you think about all the people that they know, and that's where this grows from 30, 40, 50, 100 relationships to several hundred relationships. So you need to spend the time, you need to put it down, pen to paper, and I guarantee, even though for you guys that have been in the business a long time, you're going to come up with lots of names of people that you haven't reached out to. So that's purely from a networking perspective, and then some of those people who don't bring you to merchants or aren't merchant prospects, they also may become referral partners. From a networking perspective, we listed a lot of different examples of the types of groups you want to focus on. So obviously networking groups, the BMIs of the world, chambers of commerce, alumni associations, business purchasing groups. There's lots of different industries that combine different similar businesses into purchasing groups, and they're great. Those are longer lead times, but they're great to get in front of. Office manager groups of different industries. Again, I gave the example last time within law firms. There's legal administrative associations, which I'll talk more about. Religious groups. Focus on hobbies of yours that you know people from. Housewives are a great area to focus on. Copier sales, office furniture sales, commercial property managers, insurance agents, even sign companies and attorneys. I'm going to skip the part about the EPSG marketing team and get back to that. In terms of direct referral partners, the best ones we've seen are accountants, office supply sales, bankers, payroll sales, web developers, computer phone network and repair and techs, food distribution sales, and POS sales. One more important part is number 4, existing portfolios. You need to go through your full book of 100, 200, 500, 1,000 merchants you have. Go through them because every one of them could be a potential referral partner. And by going through this, you're also going to strengthen the relationship and tie back into all the other presentations we did, whether it's margin, whether it's PCI, whether it's chargebacks. And by touching the merchants you have, you're only solidifying those relationships even more. But in this case, you're going to be calling them to see if they are open to being a referral partner or at least give you referrals. But they may not be aware of the different programs you have and their ability to make money and to help you grow your business. I mentioned support staff because I've had some success in going back to especially dentists and doctors and professionals because the office managers and support staff there are usually the people I deal with. And a lot of times, even by doing installations or other things, I've sat down with them and they've referred business, in some cases just by gift card, some cases tying them in directly. And again, if you're not so busy right now, you could go through your whole book, go meet with them and help them with PCI, educate them on chargebacks, and at the same time you'll see the support staff. You'll mention to them the referral partner, and I guarantee the referral partner program, I guarantee you'll come up with at least 2, 3, 5, 10 different potential referral partners that you haven't been talking to at this point. Social media, which is relatively new, although now been out for a while. Corporate, Brett, Kevin, and Jeff are working on some big corporate things from a social media perspective. I bring it into this presentation purely to mention that Facebook, for example, most of us are on it. We have 200, 300, 500, 1,000 friends. By taking the time to go through that whole list, you may come up with people on that list that you haven't reached out to, that may own a business, that may be professional, or again, may be in the need or want to become a referral partner. Again, that's a bunch of leads that maybe you haven't looked at. I don't use Twitter as much as an example. Instagram's another place. Twitter and Instagram and LinkedIn, which I wanted to have on here, are more. LinkedIn's another place you can go through to find leads. I've done that before. I reconnected with a bunch of fraternity brothers through it, just looking at LinkedIn. One of them became a 30 location garage relationship for me, and if I'd never gone on LinkedIn, I would have never reached out to him. But going back to the mission statement and educating people on who you are and what you do, by going through Facebook and LinkedIn, again, you can go after people. There's so many people out there that don't know what you do. For me, I've changed careers a few times. There are so many people out there that don't even know what I really do. And by educating them, you're going to get a lot more leads and, again, bump into a lot more referral partners. All these things together is just about creating traffic and productive activity. And by doing that and using everything we just talked about, you're going to bump into a lot more referral partners, a lot more networking relationships, and a lot more accounts. Again, going back to my point before, it takes time, it takes a lot of effort, it takes a lot of activity every day. And it may take weeks or if not months to see the productivity from it, but you got to do a little bit every day. Educating people who you are, what you do, what the value add you add, and EPSG adds. Advertising who you are to your social and professional networks, and you'll see the benefits of it. One thing I wanted to introduce and get your input for the guys that are on, and please respond through questions or just comments. We're going to work on putting a 2, 3, 4-page pitch book together. I know when I'm talking to people, I have some meetings today, and I'm going to give examples in a second. I'm doing this all verbally or creating it from scratch each time. But if we created a 2 or 3 4-page pitch book that you could give to potential referral partners, promoting yourself, promoting EPSG, educating them on different industry types to go after, maybe educate them briefly on pricing so they have all the things you think they need to know to become a good referral partner. And on top of that, of course, compensation to motivate them. If we gave you a 2, 3, 4-page pitch book, would you think that'd be productive? I think it is, and I'm happy to hear your responses. So we're going to work on that, get that out to you guys so that when you're meeting with people, you can give them something tangible to show them and promote why becoming a referral partner may make sense for them. So I'm actually pretty excited about that. We're going to work on that and get that out to you. And if you guys have any input, please respond now or send me emails. But I'm really excited about that because, again, I'm going to walk you through some examples now to be tangible. I'm going to talk to you about some of the referral partners I have and some of the ones I'm working on just to give you ideas to open your mind. So today I have someone coming in here in Melville meeting with me, and Brett's going to talk to him for a few minutes. He's actually a former First Data guy who is more on the financial side. He's not been on sales, but he's out of work right now, and he's looking for a traditional job. But at the same time, he's been in this industry for a long time, and from the outside, he's seen people on the sales side making a lot of money. He certainly has a lot of people who know that he's been in this business, even though they don't know exactly what he does, and I'm going to sit down with him. I'm going to now go through this pitch book, even though I don't have it created yet, and explain to him why he should be reaching out to everyone he knows personally and professionally, and why EPSG is the right place with me to refer everyone he has and how he can make money and motivate him in the short run and long run. So that's one example, and I'm excited about it. At the same time, I'm working with a couple housewives right now, one in New York, one in Florida. Again, trying to educate them and promote why they should look into being my referral partner. On top of that, some of the more successful ones I've worked with recently, I have a friend's son who's actually an assistant coach at a Delphi basketball team. And he's young, he's like 28, and he's not making a ton of money, and he's personable, and he's smart, and I've educated him. And it turned out his friend on the team was also an assistant coach. His father owns 20 smoke shops up in Maine, referred the business. It took 3, 4, 5 months, and then we closed the business and, have almost 20 smoke shops. It's a very good piece of business. So that's a great example of it being like third hand from an assistant coach to another assistant coach to a father to us, and it was worth it. And he's trying to now refer other people, but if that's the only one he ever refers, it was well worth the time sitting down with him and educating him why he should refer business to us. A few other examples we're working with right now, someone who's a big caterer, and he's successful, so the challenge is to motivate him why it's worth his time over time to make more money but every one of his customers is a potential referral to us. So we're working with him. Again, I think I gave this example the other day, but I was at a dental office and doing an installation, and we needed to call their IT person to get the IP ready, and spoke with him and told him on the phone why this could make sense. He told me he had a lot of customers that could be potential referrals. I'm gonna have breakfast with him next week. So there's one other funny one is I was introduced to someone who's actually a tennis coach and a tennis teacher, but every one of his people that he instructs, he tries to refer. It's just another example. It's really endless, and you guys need to spend more time thinking about this on your own and then getting in traffic and touching people. Let me go through a few questions now. So one question was, in the pitch book, should we come up with some kind of standard intro letter so we can send out to referral partners, specifically accountants? Definitely. We'll create that in the pitch book. That's an introduction letter, and again, where you can sell yourself an EPSG, and it will be, and then you can customize it. At least the first section, which will be about you, no doubt about it. Let's talk about accountants for a second. I know Brett and the team have had some great success. Another great example where I've probably spoken to 5 to 7 accounting firms in the last year, haven't had any success, and I gave up. What a great example of me doing the wrong thing. You know, it may take 10, it may take 20, but once you get to one, they're a great referral partner. And you got to just keep getting out there, and you got to spend every day speaking to an accounting firm. And that's a great example that you can go back to your portfolio. Every time you speak to your merchants or prospect, ask for their accountant and ask if you can call their accountant and ask if they can refer you to them. And in that sense, you'll be able to talk to 20, 30, 40, 50, 100, and I guarantee a couple of them will hit. I haven't done that as well as I should, and I'm going to go out and take that idea and run with it. And I think every one of you should as well. I want to give you a few more examples. My best referral partner is an older gentleman who was in the garment center who was laid off maybe 7 years ago. Had done okay, but needed some extra income, and we introduced him to merchant services. And over the last 7 years, he's referred enough business where he's making 6 figures. Unfortunately, originally, not all the referrals went to me, but now they do. Just another example of it could be anyone. So when we leave today, I'd ask every one of you to start with your own book, go through the whole book, reach out to everyone, or at least go through the book and see who you think would be the best people to reach out to start. And they'll appreciate that you're trying to help them make more money. On top of that, we mentioned last time that when you do talk to merchants, make them feel that you're also trying to refer business back to them. Some of these merchants may say, I don't want to make any money on this. I just want to help you out. Again, I would promote at least giving them or their office gift cards. If the owner doesn't want any money, tell them, can we refer at least gift cards to some of your support staff as a way to help them with supplemental compensation. Obviously, gift cards can only be up to a certain amount and to be considered a gift, but it's another way to promote and incentivize the owners to help you refer business. I'm going to give it a break for a second to see if any more questions come in. I'd love to hear some examples from you guys as to some of your success stories, some of your failures, some of your frustrations. So I'll give everyone a minute to discuss or to send in your questions. You know, the question is, we're getting a lot of questions now related to the pitch book, which I love, which means everyone thinks it's a good idea. Scott asked if we could get a corporate approved email template to follow up with introduction similar to a pitch book. Scott, I'm not sure exactly how to answer that other than that we'll incorporate that into the pitch book we're creating and try to allow for an email you could send out as well, followed up with all the material that will be in the pitch book. We're going to do the third series sometimes next week, the third part of the series sometime next week, and I'll have some more specifics for this. If you guys have any more suggestions or questions related to how you think what should be helpful to you guys related to a pitch book, emails, intro letter, those are all things I want to incorporate into this for next time. We're in the process of working on this next week, so please keep asking questions now, comments, suggestions, or send it to the Pro DEV Go EPSG email, and we will keep trying to incorporate. Hopefully, I think this was a good idea. It's something I really hit on. I know I'm in the field with you guys, and I know the more of this that we can use. Again, I'm doing a follow-up with a housewife now, and I'm kind of improvising, and I'm pretty good with it. But the more we could show them something tangible, it'll lead with why they should be a referral partner related to compensation, and then two, educate them enough on how much they need to be a good referral partner. And less is more in that regard. I sometimes give people too much information. You really just have to give them enough to refer you business. You know, some end up getting more involved, some less. We see everything in that regard, but getting them something will be really helpful. So we're really gonna. That's gonna be my number one focus now, is to put something together for next time and bring this back to you guys. Let's go back to networking for 1 minute and then finish with that. I'm going to give you a few really good networking examples I have worked on, and then I want to hear more of what you guys have done also. And networking, again, is just a job. You have to keep doing it. The best example I can give, again, I was an attorney. I got introduced to this legal administration association. They're all over the country. Kevin and I are actually working on doing some in other parts of the country and introducing some of you guys to it. But on Long Island, I'm part of a group. It's basically 50, mostly women, who are the office managers at law firms. And, you know, I became a sponsor. It's monthly meetings. There's activities. There's dinners. And at first, like everyone else, I sometimes think it's a waste of time. And I've now developed, I looked at the numbers today because I have to re-up. I've signed up 6 law firms. It's generating almost $1,000 a month just on my end. And it's been an incredible relationship. And we just today actually opened the association, never took credit cards, and we're doing that. And, you know, there's another 40 potential law firms. I have a meeting next Tuesday. That's what networking's about. It's not a one-time event. You go to one thing, you're not going to get anything out of it. You have to target markets, target groups that you are willing to put the time in that you like, and over time it'll work. It's not a one-time thing, throwing a few business cards. So that's my idea for today. You guys think about things you like to do, groups and industries you want to focus on, and then commit a year of doing things. And that's how you'll really have success in networking. And last thing I forgot to mention, again, on the bigger associations, then lean on Melanie and Kevin and Brett. They have a marketing team here that will support the bigger associations that require more than what maybe one sales partner can do. So I'm going to leave it 1 more minute for questions, and if not, please look for when the next one will be next week. We'll work on more on the pitch book for next time, and I'd like you guys to come back next time and tell me some of the things you've done to incorporate what we've talked about today into your networking and into your referral partner efforts. And please go back to your own book, because your own book is the best place to start. With that said, it looks like we're done with questions. Appreciate it. Please, any feedback. Professional development, again, is an ongoing series that we're going to keep doing on different topics. Please email me topics you want us to focus on. We're going to do them every month, and this is all about making you more educated and more marketable and help you. What are the 4 tenets of this whole program? It's help you get accounts, retain it, better retention, help you get referrals, and help you increase your margin. That's all I'm trying to do to help you as someone who's in the field with you. So with that said, have a great Friday. Please shoot me out any questions, comments, suggestions, and I'll talk to you guys next week. Thanks.